Now, how do you make money off of this situation? How do you make the most money possible off of someone tilted? Welcome, fellow poker players, to the third Poker Tilt installment video. We actually did this video on the Gulf Coast to begin with. We looked back at all the footage and the wind completely wiped it out, so instead of a nice sandy beach and an awesome background and warm and in our swimsuits, got a sweatshirt on, it's cold out, we're back in Minnesota, but I'm gonna take this opportunity and just give you the best concept video I possibly can and maybe clean up a little bit of the things that I might have missed when we first did it. Okay, so for this third tilt video, it's all gonna be on taking advantage of tilt. I'm gonna break this up into three small parts. One is gonna be noticing the players that are tilted, your opponents. I'm gonna go into a little concept called mini tilt, how to cause tilt in opponents, and also making the most money off of the players tilted. You don't wanna miss this. Causing tilt in opponents. How do we do this? How are some people really good at this and some people aren't so good? I'm gonna go into that right now. So a few ways to put people on tilt. Showing a bluff would be one. You have to be careful when showing a bluff, however. I know that when someone shows me one and I'm someone who's totally in check with my emotions, where I'm not gonna go off and tilt, I'm just gonna put that data in my head, in my brain, and I'm gonna use it against them in the future. So be careful when you're showing a bluff, however. There are really good times when to do this, and you can put someone on tilt when doing this. Normally I would do it against someone who I'm not playing against very often. I don't think they're really an excellent player. Just take advantage of these situations. You know, if you're in a different city or something, that's a really good time to do it. Slow rolling is a way to cause tilt. This happens to me quite a bit. It's actually, I kind of laugh at it now. It was one of the ways that would really kind of throw me over the edge in the past. It doesn't really bother me anymore. Now I laugh. But morally, it's kind of on the edge a little bit, but it is a way to cause tilt, and it's kind of funny sometimes. One way that I put tilt on players all the time, and it's just straight, my edge, my strategy would be just constantly putting pressure on players who can't handle it. Players who can't handle the pressure, and you know, you're 3-betting them a lot, or you're being really aggressive in position, or you're floating them, all these things that they're just not adjusting to right will cause tilt in them very slowly, but it will happen, and it's another really good way to cause tilt in an opponent and take advantage of them. Deception and lying is a way to cause tilt, obviously. That's something I'm not a huge proponent of myself also. And berating players. I think that there's a little bit of value in berating a good player, but I would stay away from ever berating a bad player. You always want people to be still coming to the game, to still be playing the game. Stay away from berating bad players, please. I would like all the new players to come in and not think we're all assholes. So thank you for that. But yeah, if you ever have an advantage to berate a good player, they're gonna play regardless. Someone who's playing to make money, they're gonna keep playing no matter what. So go ahead and berate them all you want. Have fun with that. Yeah, so causing tilt in opponents really is a special skill. It's something that I've seen some people get really good at. It's just not completely in line with who I am personally, so I don't do it. However, you know, if this is something you want to incorporate in your game, I say go for it. Get really good at it. Some people are amazing at it and make a lot of money off of players who are tilting, and they're the ones who are causing it, and they really do refine this skill. So if that's something that you want to get good at, you know, keep working on that. Rewatch these videos and start implementing these things I'm talking about. We're gonna go into the next section here. Let's talk about noticing tilt in opponents. What are the signs you're looking for? A lot of them are from the first video I talked about with identifying with emotions. If you're an empathetic person like I am, I can really feel when someone else is feeling something, but not everybody is empathetic, and I understand this. So you have to really sometimes be paying attention for things like frustration, anger. Sighing is a really big sign. When someone is sighing, after, you know, they get another hand after they've been waiting, and they're getting super frustrated from not getting any cards or getting outdrawn. Pay attention when someone starts playing a lot more hands than usual. These are the things that a lot of people don't even pick up on, and if you're paying attention where someone is generally folding the vast majority of the time and all of a sudden they're playing every other hand, this is a huge sign of tilt. A lot of players even do things as outrageous as throwing cards at the dealer and berating the dealer or swearing at other players. And you need to be fully aware of these signs, because we're going to take advantage of these players when these things happen. Now for online tilt, there's a couple things I'm going to mention for online tilt. One would be noticing player moving up in stakes. If you're a regular on an online site and all of a sudden you see someone in a higher stake level, either they were prepared to move up or they're probably tilted, and the vast majority of the time is they're probably tilted. And this is one huge sign I look for. If I'm searching tables on a site and I notice someone that's normally not there and they're playing bigger, I jump on that table as fast as I can, generally, unless I know they're a really good player and they're not tilted. But most of the time they are tilted. They start playing more tables. That's another huge sign. They start acting faster. They start 3-betting more. These are all signs you need to be looking for, because these are the best times to make the most money. Now that we talked about noticing tilt, noticing the signs of it, understanding when your opponent's on tilt, and causing tilt in the opponent, if you've gotten good at this and you did it. Now, how do you make money off of this situation? How do you make the most money possible off of someone tilted? I'm going to talk about a few things right now that you can do. Obviously, there's going to be a few more. However, these are the key fine points that I believe is the best way to make the most possible money off of someone tilted. One thing you can do, start playing more hands against them. I know it's a little bit counterintuitive to open up your range, a lot of people believe, but I believe this is a really good way, because when you're playing a lot of hands and they're playing a lot of hands and they're under duress, stress, frustration, anger, and they're not thinking clearly, you're playing the same amount of hands as them, or close to, a little bit less. However, you're the one thinking clearly, you're making sound decisions, you're getting the value bets. Obviously, over time, if you can play this out long enough, you will make a lot of money off of them. Play a lot in position. Now, when you open up your range and you are playing a lot of hands, stay away from playing out of position unless you have a really good hand, because obviously someone who's extremely tilted is probably going to put you in some hard spots, regardless, if they're willing to, you know, spew off or bet a lot and just 3-barrel or these kind of things. Be prepared to trap them. Say you do play out of position, or even in position for that matter. If you do flop a monster, you have, you know, pocket aces or kings pre-flop or something, try not to push them off their hand, because even when someone's tilted, generally they still recognize if you have a really big hand, especially if you've been playing tight. So give them an opportunity to just let the emotions carry them, and don't give them a logical answer behind it. So let's say someone who's tilted is totally acting on emotion. They're frustrated, they're acting really quick, they're just, you know, spew, and all of a sudden, you know, pre-flop, they do their normal whatever bet, large bet pre-flop, and you look down at pocket aces or pocket kings and you raise them. Now, instead of them acting on emotion and just going with the flow of how they feel, they might stop for a second and actually logically think like, oh wait, what's going on here? This person doesn't normally do this. So kind of let them just go with their emotion, go with their flow. And this is a huge way, it's just a really good way to let them spew their money off when they are tilted. Small ball them. If you're a good small ball player, this is a perfect opportunity. Plays little pots with them, and then obviously, you know, smack a big monster when you can. Win the big pot. Stay away from marginal spots like coin flips, because you don't really need to coin flip with a player who's tilting. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Another key note to hit: try not to get the tilted players to leave. That's why I talk about berating bad players is a horrible idea. I can't stress that enough. I love it that more and more people are coming to the game. However, there are some assholes on the tables who cause players not to come back. We don't want that. You know, we want the poker community to grow, so let's stay away from berating the bad players. And unfortunately, the tilted players most of the time are the bad players, so just kind of let them roll with their tilt, and maybe a little nudge here and there is okay, but don't throw them over the edge to the point where, you know, they just rack up and leave, because who does that help? doesn't help anybody. They might never want to play again or whatever, and that just accomplishes nothing. So stay away from that, please. And another key concept, or key thing to look for, that would be the I missed again player. These are more common than you think. A lot of people, when they're tilted, they get to the point where they're so frustrated, where they're not flopping a hand or they're not seeing cards, they just start playing every hand, where all they care about is flopping something. And you can take complete advantage of these people, just keep betting against them, and obviously when they finally decide to call the flop or raise you or whatever, get away from your hand. However, you can make a lot of money in a very short time by raising pre-flop. They call, they say, I can't believe I missed again. They fold again, I raise, I call, I can't believe I missed again, they fold. This is a really good situation to look for. Keep an eye out for the player that is, when they're on tilt, all they're trying to do is hit a hand. One last quick little pointer I'm gonna tell you guys. There's a little concept called mini tilt, where it generally happens to a better player. It's just a short duration where their emotions aren't in check anymore, where you're just a little bit out of line, you're frustrated or whatever, and it's a short duration. Some players, it takes 5 minutes, some players a half hour, and if you're paying really close attention and you notice these things, you got to take advantage of the good players during these mini tilt little sessions, little series, because normally they're short-lived and the person kind of like gets in check and gets all their emotions back together. So if you're taking advantage of this situation, that is your best time to make money against a really good opponent. So be aware of this. Thanks guys and girls once again. I had a lot of fun making this video. I hope you all got some good value out of it, and you learn a little bit of something for poker and you can implement in your game. I hope you all are getting better, making money. If you did get any value out of this video, please like, comment, subscribe below. This helps me out. I'm helping you out. Let's all go make some money. Let's all have some fun. Stay tuned for the 4th video in the Tilt series where we're in Kansas City. I got a little something special planned out for all of you, and you all have a good day.